1, 2, 3, 4.
Mrs. and a mic, you don't need much more.
4 misses.
Come on.
4 misses.
Come on.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's your favorite podcast, so save the date.
4 misses.
Come on.
4 misses.
Come on. 4 misses and a mic. Come on. 4 misses and a mic. Come on.
Hi guys, welcome to the first 4 Mrs. and a Mic Minisode. This is CJ, and I would like to take a moment to thank all of you for listening and tuning in each week. We are really enjoying this journey, and your support and your feedback mean the world to us. We really appreciate it. So thanks, guys. We really wanted an opportunity to share more about ourselves and our relationships with the listeners. And so the minisodes will be a place where each Mrs. will have a chance to share tidbits and fun facts about themselves, as well as issues, concerns, or just topics that come up in their own individual marriages. In this first minisode, Mrs. Elle and Mrs. Bri will share some really cute and funny stories with you about their relationships. I hope you enjoy.
It's Elle.
And Mr. L. So today we're going to let you guys know a little bit more about us and our relationship and a little bit more about how we met. So I'm going to let Miss L start off that story for us.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of the backstory, we grew up around the corner from each other. We went to high school directly across the street from each other. We went to the same college at the same time, worked out at the same gym, and we also worked around the corner from each other. But that's not how we met.
So we actually met through a mutual friend. Shout out Carter. So Carter is a buddy of mine from college. And one day he said, hey, look, I'm tired of you dating all of these out-of-town girls. You need to date a girl from New Orleans.
And for me, I knew Carter from high school. And he said, I'm tired of you dating, the bad boy type. I have this really good friend who's a really good guy who would be a nice guy for you. And I really want you to meet him.
So we both go to Facebook and look at each other's profile. And let's just say
we weren't each other's type.
Yeah.
At all.
So first thing I tried to do was back out.
Me too.
I was like, I don't think I can make it tomorrow.
I said, I'm tired. I'm going to be tired tomorrow. I don't really know.
Yeah. So, but Carter forced us. He said, you're coming no matter what. I'm coming to pick you guys up. We're going out. And so the next day, we both make it work and we go out. And so we go to a pool hall, right? And so, I meet her and, things are kind of going okay. So I'm like, hey, let me put forth some effort. I want to try to meet her.
Because he thought I was cute in person.
You
did.
Cute.
He pursued
something
me.
going on, But anyway, so, I pursued you a little bit and she ran from me the whole night. I would come to her side of the table to try to talk to her. She would literally walk away from me.
Well, see, I wasn't taking this date really serious. I was like, oh, this is just a chance to get out the house. I wasn't really interested. But when I actually saw him, I had a little bit of butterflies. I was a little bit, nervous.
Well,
Oh, please. So I was just a little bit nervous. So I was kind of, I guess, like running from him. I was kind of nervous.
So, but after that, we actually got a chance to talk to each other. We exchanged phone numbers. We talked on the phone.
A lot.
Yeah, and every conversation was just like I knew this person my entire life. There was no grasping for conversation. There was no trying to figure out what I'm going to say next. Everything just flowed.
Yeah, we had so much in common. And it's kind of hard for me because I'm quite the weirdo.
And I admittedly am a weirdo as well.
Yeah, we're both weirdos. So we had a lot. We have a lot in common. So it was just easy to get along, and just have conversation.
Yeah. And so, 4 years later?
Yep. 4 years later, we got engaged.
Yep. And got married.
A few months after that, we got married, and we've been married for 7 years now. So the rest is history.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to do a question and answer session so you guys can get to know us a little bit better. So the first question is, are you a morning person or a night person?
So are we starting off with, am I a morning person or a
Go
night
ahead.
person? Or
You
are
go first.
So me. So I am definitely a night person. My brain doesn't turn on until about 10 o'clock. So I get to work at 8. So between 8 and 10, I'm kind of just there. I make sure I don't do anything important before that time. But after 10 o'clock, when my brain wakes up, then I'm okay. But nighttime, I'm great. I do my best working, studying, anything around 1 in the morning.
Oof.
So what
Okay.
about you?
Okay, so I am not a morning person at all, and I am not a night person at all. I am more of a 10 to 7 type girl. Like,
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
yes, that's
Vouch
definitely
for
true.
that.
I'm grumpy in the morning, and I'm grumpy if it gets too late. Like, I need my, 10 to 7. So
Yeah, the kitchen closes at 8.
I get
In the
angry when he goes
evening.
to fix food after 8. Really? Who eats a second dinner?
Yeah, I
come
mean,
on.
who likes to eat food in their kitchen? But anyway,
Anyway, okay. So the next question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
so my answer is definitely Paris. I don't even know if I was there long enough to really say I love it. We were there, about 4 or 5 days,
Yeah, 4 days, I think.
but it was easily the best place I've ever been in my
Yes.
entire life.
Yes.
People wake up in the morning and eat pastries and drink wine with lunch and
Yes.
seem to actually enjoy life.
Yes. I completely agree. Paris would be where I would want to live for sure. They are I just love Paris. I don't see where people say, French people are rude or anything like that. I absolutely enjoyed my time there, and I enjoyed the French people.
I think that's because both of us are introverts and so are they.
Yeah,
And you don't have to
that's
talk to
true.
people or make
That
conversation
is
with
true.
strangers. Anyway,
Yeah, that's probably true.
yeah. So, next question. As a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I really wanted to be an astronaut. Macy Jemison was my role model. Like, I really was into space and the planets and everything, and I just really, really wanted to be an astronaut.
So, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Uh, I've had a few jobs, over time, but still haven't quite narrowed it down yet. I would say when I was a kid, which I've definitely changed, I wanted to be in the military. But then when I got old enough to realize that it wasn't like television and that the people actually shoot back at you, probably deterred me a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Well, what is your favorite animal?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with lion.
I figured that would be your answer.
Of course.
The king of the jungle.
Of course.
Oh gosh. Well, mine would be sea otters. I love them. They're like the kitty cats of the sea, which means I also like kitty cats.
Yeah.
And I also like giraffes. And I also like koala bears. And I also like a lot of other animals.
Yeah, I think we know a whole lot about you.
I
by
love
your animal
animals.
choices. All right. Next question is, do you have any guilty pleasures?
I do. Mine is the whole Bachelor series. Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelor, Winter Games, just all the Bachelors.
So if there was an honorable mention question, which is what do I hate the most in life, it would probably also be the Bachelor series.
Oh,
Bachelor
how
in
ironic.
Paradise, Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but I will say my guilty pleasure is I read the comments section at Yahoo and I
Oh, gosh.
occasionally respond to comments.
Occasionally?
It's like some of the most complex political and social issues, but I need to know what Joe Blow from Nowheresville thinks about it also.
And I just don't understand it. I don't understand reading the comments and responding. I just don't.
Yeah, it's not something that normal people do, but, guilty pleasure.
Okay, so what is something you couldn't live without?
I couldn't live without my wife.
Aww.
You are my favorite person on this entire planet.
Aww.
And I could not imagine going another day without you.
Well, I'm going to change my answer to my hubby.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, I'm saying I was going to say coffee and sweets.
Really? Okay.
But you go without saying. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Definitely couldn't live without you. So, do you have any phobias?
I have a fear of heights.
Yeah, he doesn't even like me standing near a
No.
balcony. He's like, come here. What are you doing?
No.
Come here. Come here.
Nope. I don't want to be near a balcony. You can't be near a balcony either. But, okay, so more realistically, it's not really a fear of heights. It's a fear of falling off of something high and dying.
Well, that's because you're extra tall. You're like a giant. So,
And
like, your waist is, like,
yeah,
way above
my
the rail.
center of gravity is all high, and
Yeah.
I'm scared. And so, and on top of the fact that I'm tall, I'm clumsy. I'm the person who, like, trips randomly walking down the street with nothing in front of me. I literally worry that if I stand too close to a balcony, I will trip and die.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's understandable then.
Yeah.
What
about you?
Well, as far as a phobia, I have like a weird fear of horses. I don't know. I have this fear that I'm gonna die being kicked by a horse. Like, I don't know. That's strange. I don't know.
So scared, in fact.
Oh, do we have to get into that?
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh.
That you've experienced what the Bourbon Street water feels like.
Oh, Bourbon
in your
Street
attempt
water
to get
is
away from a
disgusting and
horse.
smelly and gross.
So Miss Elle is so afraid of horses that we saw one while walking down Canal Street. She panicked and tripped.
We were
and
on Bourbon Street.
What did I say? Canal
Canal
Street?
Street.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Yes.
So she trips on Bourbon Street and falls in a big juicy puddle of the Bourbon
And
Street
I
water.
grab onto him for him to catch me, but he doesn't.
Because who would allow themselves to even come in contact with the Bourbon Street water?
Okay, I don't want to relive it.
Anyway,
Gross.
so moving on.
Ew.
So moving on, do you have any interesting hobbies? And I'll answer this a little bit for both of us. One of the things that we enjoy doing as a couple is going to the shooting range.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, very therapeutic. If you've never done it, it's something you should try.
Definitely. But something unique about Mr. L is he also likes gardening.
I like to have diverse interests.
He can pick out flowers and plants and trees, and he tells me all the names of them, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I have an AR-15, but I also enjoy hydrangeas.
And we also enjoy saving kitty cats, rescuing kitty cats.
Yeah, so we actually just recently had 4 rescues.
Yeah, kittens. They were so cute. They all got adopted.
Mm-hmm. So, kittens, gardening, and guns.
And interior design for Mr. L. He's very good at it.
Don't tell nobody.
So that is all for this Minisode edition of 4 Mrs. and a Mike.
We really hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about us and our relationship.
So thank you so much for listening.
All right.
Alrighty.
Hi everybody, it's Bri, and I'm presenting you guys with something really special today. It's my edition of our 4 Mrs. and a Mike minisode, and I also have Mr. Bri with me today. So honey, say hi.
Hello everybody.
And so we thought it would be really nice to give you guys a little chance to get to know each of us better. So we're going to tell you the story of how we met. Aww. And this will be kind of interesting because it did not go how most people probably assume our meeting went, because we did not come out of it liking each
Someone
other.
was very mean in the
No,
beginning.
you were lame.
Okay, you go.
All right, well, this is what happened.
From her perspective.
No, from the true perspective.
Nope, it's 3 sides.
There's the truth,
And then there's Bri, which is synonymous with the truth. And then there's whatever lie you're about to tell.
Lies you tell.
But I'm going to go first and tell the truth, and then you can come in and lie. So, we both were working at a pet store in college. Shout out to LSU. Go Tigers. Woohoo! And I had been working there already for about a year, I think, at that point. And he joined the team, and it was it your first night?
It was my first night, but not my first day.
So it was like your second shift?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in my department, and I was working with one of my friends, and she was like, oh my gosh, they hired a new guy. Let's go see if he's hot. And I was like, totally, because I'm single.
Which I was.
Whatever. So we go, scour the store for the new guy, and we find him, my hubby, and he's with our boss at the time. And so we just go up to him and we're like, hi, nice to meet you. I was like, I'm Bri. And he was like, hi, I'm so-and-so. We shook hands.
I'm Mr. Bri.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Bri.
What's a weird name?
And we shook hands. And I noticed he didn't have on a name tag. And so I said, oh, you don't have a name tag. Do you want me to make you one? And he said, sure. And so I was like, okay, well, do you spell your name this way or that way? And his response was, well, who the hell would spell it that way? And I was like, excuse me, there's a very important person in a Harry Potter book that spells his name the exact same way, so don't even go there.
Instantly knew she was lame. I have a very common name.
First of all.
And it's spelled one way.
No, it's not.
One way only.
First of all.
Unless you're Russian or a Harry Potter character.
First of all.
It's only spelled one way.
If you are an international person like myself, there's more than one way to spell it.
If you told somebody my name and they didn't know how to spell, they would know how to spell my name.
I actually have things in my house right now with your name spelled the other way.
Who does this?
People who aren't from the south of America.
They're Russian?
They can be a lot of things.
Well, they're from the mythical world of Harry Potter?
First of all, you're not going to go there with Harry Potter.
I'm sorry, the Wizarding World.
Thank you.
If you go to Universal Studios, even for me, it was amazing. And I fell asleep in all the movies.
This is not a Universal Studios ad, but Harry Potter is awesome for all ages. Read the books, not just the movies.
Don't read the books.
No, reading is fun. Don't encourage people to not read.
Well, I'm assuming adults listen to this. And when do you have time to read as an adult?
You read all the time. I love to read for pleasure. Reading is, you know what? People are going to think all we do is argue.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's it, folks. That's the key to a happy marriage. Just argue all the time.
All the time, because then you don't actually have to worry about an argument. It's like practicing for an argument, and if you're constantly practicing, then when the real game happens, you won't run out of... that was a terrible analogy. I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, I was just going to let you keep, spinning that web on your own. Anywho.
Spinning that wheel on my own. Thank you.
Anywho... So needless to say, after our first interaction, I thought he was super mean and super whack, and I didn't want to have anything to do with him. And so that continued on for about 6 months. I hated his stinking guts.
I thought she was just a giant nerd that read Harry Potter all the time.
First of all, nerds are smart, and I didn't read Harry Potter all the time because I'd already read all of it.
The way you said, first of all, nerds are smart, made it sound like you were saying, first of all, I'm not a nerd because I'm not smart.
No, I'm saying nerds are not bad because we're all smart. So you can be a hater if you want to, but one day you will need my smarts. In fact, you need my smarts all the time. You tell me all the time, I am not a smart man.
That is a quote from Forrest Gump.
Well, why are you quoting him if you're a smart man and Harry Potter wasn't smart?
He won an Oscar.
No. Tom Hanks won an Oscar. Forrest Gump did not win an Oscar.
Forrest Gump has Bubblegum Shrimp Company.
No, Bubba had Bubblegum Shrimp Company.
Bubba died.
Bubba's mama had Bubblegum Shrimp
Spoiler
Company.
alert, Bubba died.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump.
If you haven't seen Forrest Gump.
I think it came out in the early 90s. You're a little behind.
Fun fact. It was the last movie my wife's grandmother saw.
Why? My grandmother has passed on to the celestial plane. The ancestral plane. I was watching Black Panther last night. Why are you talking about my grandma? You know what? She's going to haunt you later.
No,
how about
because
that?
The way you said that, I went, oh man, her grandmother died in the 90s. And you're like, no. This is the last movie she saw in the theaters. What?
Yeah, she definitely died 3 days before 9/11. So, I'm kind of glad she didn't have to see all that. That would have broken her heart.
It took her 9 years she didn't go see a movie?
Well, she was old, honey. I mean,
Oh, man.
how was she going to get there? She couldn't drive.
That's like one of those things like you don't know the last time you go pick up your child. You don't know the last time you're going to go to the movies.
I guess. I mean, that's not one of the things that I'm so
Well,
worried
last time
about.
you like eat a meal without fake teeth.
Okay, this is going somewhere I didn't intend for it to go, and you're telling way too much of my family business right now.
All right, I'm derailing. So I thought she was a nerd, and I didn't want to be around her or anything like that. And then one magical day.
What was the one magical day for you?
Well, no, for you when I came.
Oh, so fast forward 6 months of me hating him, thinking he was super lame and mean, and not having anything to do with him. Ouch. I was at work, and you came up there for some reason in your like regular clothes. By the way, guys, that's my husband's work phone ringing because apparently he's never not at work, even when he's not at work.
Yeah,
So,
not at work, but I'm still at work.
shout out to the people whose jobs don't leave them when they leave. Anywho, he came in like regular clothes, and for some reason that day I looked at him with different eyes, and I was like, oh, he actually is most of the things I like in a guy. And he's pretty cute. So I stopped hating him, but I still thought he would not like me because I knew the dislike was mutual. So I'm not really sure when he started liking me. He'll have to answer that, I guess.
So the moment I started liking her was one day I was like, I have not given her a fair shot. And it was around the same time where you stopped hating me, which, was very convenient. And so
It was fate.
I went to go talk to you one day, and I went, you know what? She's not half bad.
I wasn't half bad.
I mean, you're still 3/4 bad. But I figured she was not half bad. And maybe I could talk to her some more. And the funny part about this is after 6 months, it coordinated with her birthday. And so we began to talk, and then she invited me out to go after work, hang out with her and her. I thought it was going to be like friends. I thought it was going to be like 30 people. But it turned out to just be her and one other person.
Okay, first of all, before you make me sound like I'm lame and have no friends.
No.
It was my 21st birthday, and I had 4 parties, okay?
Oh, no.
You were invited to one shindig,
I know.
okay? You were not invited to my bar crawl. You were not invited to my pre-dinner birthday at Hard Rock Cafe. Shout out to Hard Rock Cafe. You were not invited to my super awesome birthday party at this club in the French Quarter, which one of the other 4 misses will probably bring up because it has something to do with her story with her mister. Shout out to her. So don't make it out like my birthday was whack or something like that. You just didn't come.
No, it wasn't that I thought it was whack. It was just I got off at work at 3, and I didn't want to go back out at like 7 o'clock.
It was later than 7, but okay.
I was like, you know what? I will go do it. Let me go do it. So my grandmother, R.I.P. to her.
I know. Shout out to my mom.
She wanted me to take her to the store, and that was something I enjoyed with my grandmother because it was like, hey, we get to go to the store. She tells me about, her life, and we go hang out. So afterwards, me and her finished shopping. I said like we went to like Bloomingdale's and stuff like that. No, we actually went to Walgreens. So, and Big Lots. And so we came back, and I looked at the time, and I went, well, they must be done by now. Which I found out later that y'all were just getting there.
Because we were adults, and we were going to drink. And there was nothing that said we had to be at home at 9:30 or something. I don't know what you thought, dude. Anyways, so maybe about a week after my birthday that you didn't come celebrate with me, we had inventory at our job, and you asked me out to the movies the next week.
And she said, so I have younger siblings that are way younger than me. We have a big age gap. And so whenever I would go to the movies, I would take them with me. So she said, well, who do you normally go to the movies with? And I said, my younger siblings. And she said, oh, so when we go out, are you going to bring them? No!
Well, first of all, you made it seem like you don't go out without your siblings. And I still didn't know if my original impression of you being super whack was true. So that's why I said that. There was a reason. Okay, I had to feel you out. But anywho, I guess we'll tell you the story of our first date later for our next minisode. But I do have a couple of questions for you, honey. So you kind of answered the first one, which was, what was your first impression of me?
You were very mean, and you're still mean, and I'm still afraid of you.
Okay. The truth now?
Okay, my first impression of you was, I thought you were a nerd. That's it.
So my first impression of you was, I thought you were whack.
All right. That's cool.
So, yeah, first impressions can be wrong, people. So just keep that in mind.
11 years later.
Yeah, still think you're kind of whack. But
I still think you're a nerd.
I just love Harry Potter and Star Wars. And a couple other things we'll go into later. So have you ever second-guessed your decision to marry me?
No, ma'am. I've never second-guessed my decision to marry you. Even when we've had our worst fights, I'd rather have 1,000 terrible days with you than one good day with anybody else.
That's really sweet. If I'm honest, there was a point in time,
Oh, I remember when you...
like pretty
it
close.
was like the first week. You were like, I hate him. Why did I do this?
It was like pretty close after we got married, and I did second guess a lot of things.
You even told me you Googled non-contested divorces and saw how like fast you could do this.
I did, but luckily I didn't go through with it because I realized that, you know, you can work through just about anything. And also, I'm sure we'll talk about this on another podcast later, that it's okay to have those moments and it's okay to work through them. It's also okay to reach out to people who have your best interest at heart at all times and get their advice, because Mr. L definitely helped me center and focus and get back to what was important and not make a stupid decision and leave the love of my life. So shout out to Mr. L. So what's one do-over that you have from our relationship so far?
That is a good question. You may have to go first while I think.
So there's not a lot for me. I think if I were to do something over, I just remember, I can't remember what hurricane it was, but there was some hurricane that hit the area that we lived in and forced us to be stuck together with like no power for like a large number of days. And
that was 10 years ago.
Wow. Well,
That was 10 years ago.
I was miserable, and apparently my way of being miserable was to make your life miserable. And I do regret that. I wish that I would have been more understanding of the fact that we both were miserable and there was nothing either one of us could do about it. I feel like I showed you a part of myself that's not really true to myself.
Yeah, because you complained and whined the whole time. And it was like, me and your mother even had a discussion like, hey, guess what? You're not the only one in this situation right now. And your mother was like, but don't tell her, because she's going to blow up about it and says, you know what? I'm having this situation worse.
Yes, I've evolved.
You have. Like, now if something goes bad, you're like, I mean, think about it now. Hey, the power went out a few weeks ago with the, like, a bunch of storm, and you were like, hey, at least the house is cool. Hopefully the power will come back on. If not, I'll just go sit in the car, or I'll go somewhere.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna, like...
10 years ago, you would have been like, oh, hell no. You gotta come home and fix this.
That's growth, though. Like, I just had to know what was important in life, and that wasn't important. So that's one of my do-overs.
Yeah, so, I mean, the only thing that I would take back, or I do over, is one thing. I wish we would have either had kids really early, so they'd be older, or really late, so they'd be younger and we had more time in our life together. That's really it.
So I would want to have had them a lot earlier, not later, because let me tell you, for all the people who have had children, pregnancy, childbirth, and young babies is not for the faint of heart. And I can't imagine me handling that in like my 40s well. So I guess we should have popped them out 10 years ago.
Just imagine if we would have popped our kids 10 years ago, you know, they'd be in middle school, so that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but the good thing is we've been blessed enough to where we have amazing kids and we get to have this amazing life with them. But we also get to still travel and go out and experience life together.
The thing that I have the problem with is I miss them when we go somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that, like my mopey face, like the first day I'm there, because it's like, and then the first FaceTime call with the kid, and the kid does not care. It's like, okay, well, I did right. He doesn't care.
Yeah. He's not at home crying. Why am I?
Why am I crying?
Yeah.
Why am I in Paris crying?
Right. But so I think we're really blessed in that regard.
Yep.
Anywho, honey, I think this was cute. I think it gave people a glimpse into how crazy we really are.
Yep.
And now they're probably like, yeah, those two belong together because they're both nuts.
Yep. So now the most important question: what are we eating for dinner?
I guess I have to figure that out because, as previously disclosed on Four Mrs. and a Mic, my husband does not cook,
My cooking skills involve boiling water,
which he doesn't do well. So,
putting water and things in the microwave.
which you also have messed up before.
Okay. Before we end this,
No, we're not. No.
Sometimes you read the recipes on the box wrong.
No. First of all, there's a box with instructions on the outside that should not be above your skill set.
Look, you try to make lasagna, you make soup. It's the same
That's
thing.
disgusting. Anywho, we really want to thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed this quick little romp.
You will never let that down.
No, I won't. Into our lives, and we hope you join us for the next Four Mrs. and a Mic Minisode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, this concludes our Four Mrs. and a Mic Minisode. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again for listening, streaming, following, subscribing, mentioning to other friends and families. We really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, you can always stream us on Libsyn, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, and YouTube. We also appreciate your feedback. So if you feel like hitting us up, go ahead and email us at 4mrsandamic@gmail.com. Bye.